Hey guys, and welcome to the J and K show. We have been gone a little bit. We had some just snifflies and all kinds of medical things going on. We had to take a break. We had to get healthy, get right. And now we are ready to bring this Sunday recap and all the NFL football that we can recap for you in the last few days. I'm ready to get going. I'm antsy. Are you ready?
I'm not antsy, but I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we just start off with the Colts here. I just put on here. It's a fair question. Are the Colts done?
Are there playoff hopes done? I think so.
Correct. Yep.
That's too rough of a schedule to ask a rookie to come in and win you two or three games to have an opportunity. But I've told everybody that I've talked to about it today, though. I absolutely liked what I saw from Riley Leonard. I think
Yes.
he's going to be a capable guy.
He's a bit fearless. I like his
Yeah,
demeanor.
he's going to be more mobile, and he can give you that RPO that Daniel Jones had a really good grasp on the first half of the season, which led to a lot of our success. But since he hurt his leg, he just didn't have that the last few games, and that it wasn't a threat. He wasn't a threat to run out or roll out or anything like that. So the RPO is basically dead. But I think the least, and his first game as a starter is going to be in Seattle. That's going to be rough. But it's like
Yeah.
one of those, just throw the guy to the wolves and we'll see what we can get.
So they just reported that his knee is messed up a little bit from the game. So we may actually not have a healthy quarterback this Sunday.
That's cool. We don't need one at all. We'll just go Wildcat and we'll see
Tyler
what
Warren
happens.
Wildcat. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, Wildcat Warren, Jonathan Taylor, let's fucking do it. Or we can just, go to the airport and be like, no, we don't want to go. We'll just pull a Notre Dame. We don't want to be considered.
You know, I really didn't believe. I was like, well, there's just no way that it's his Achilles. Like in my brain, I saw him fall, and it was more sideways instead of like that launch, that push
Yeah.
off the. It wasn't like that. And I was like, surely it's not. He has a calf strain, which could still be an Achilles down the line.
Yeah.
I'm like, surely not. It just doesn't look like the same kind that you're used to seeing lately, especially. And then when he slams his helmet down, I was like, is that Halliburton
That's
that I'm
Allie.
looking at right now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's just again, and I'm still like, there's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way within 6 months, two guys responsible for quarterbacking two entire franchises in the same city would go down with the same injury. Like, I get goosebumps right now. Like, literally, look like
Same
literal here.
injury, same side even. It's like, come on.
Like, there's just no way.
It was like Hallie. It was Hallie's right leg, wasn't it? When they
It
both the left, they're
was,
both the
yeah.
right, wasn't it?
I think it was his right. I think.
Come on. It's just
And
all over again. This one though didn't make me cry. Halliburton made me cry. Like I was
well, the
genuinely in
moment that
tears.
you seen Halliburton in is a moment that doesn't come around very often.
Uh-uh.
We don't get a lot of game sevens in the NBA finals. We've had I think there's only been like a handful of game sevens ever, like less than 100.
Yeah.
In the NBA finals, I think there's only been like 10 or something. It's a very small amount, might be less than that. So, yeah, it's kind of a once in a lifetime kind of thing for Daniel Jones. This is a division game. This is the Duval game. If you were going to
Yeah.
pick a game on our schedule that had a little bit something extra, this probably would have been the games. It's kind of poetic and also downright horrendous that this would happen to us and to this franchise. I don't know what to think, man. First thing I thought was, is AR healthy? If he is, he won't be.
Yeah.
Riley, this is probably too big a moment for Riley. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are we trying to get Joe Flacco to get released
Oh hell no.
as some under the table deal? I'm
No.
wondering, are they going to call Derek Carr? Who are they going to
Gross.
call? Ghostbusters? I don't know
No.
they would obviously try to get someone that they think, okay, we've got 4 games left and we have a playoff opportunity here, which by the way, We are not in the playoffs right now, which is very bad because
Yeah.
Houston is now ahead of us. So to me, that's like hardest schedule left. We're also literally outside looking in. That's pretty much, no offense, it's pretty much a wrap for the playoffs.
I think so. Yeah, I think the best we can hope for, I mean, but would be like 9-8, but I don't see having the
We beat
Seahawks
Jacksonville at home.
maybe,
Can we beat Jacksonville at home? Maybe.
but I don't
Maybe.
see it happening. But having Seattle and San Fran back to back, that's going to be rough. Yeah, San Fran's at least a Monday nighter, and weird shit happens on Mondays sometimes. But I just, yeah, as soon as you see him slamming his helmet on the ground, you knew it was really bad. And just seeing him, he could barely walk, and I'm like, oh, God, I was like, it's his right leg this time. What the hell's going on? And I'm like, they showed the replay, and like, that's Achilles. That's right away. It's just you saw his leg kind of slam down, and then he just folded. It's like, dude, we just watched, IU win the Big Ten. Everybody was so high going into Sunday. It's like, hey, we got a battle for the division today. Hey, Indiana's on a roll. Oops, no, they're not. Yeah,
Turns out a part of winning the Big Ten championship is cutting an Achilles out of a grown man and putting it in the pit for sacrifice. It used to be lambs and virgins, and now it's Achilles of quarterbacks or point guards.
Yeah, your top people, man. It's just like you're the quarterback of the NBA team, and then the actual quarterback of the NFL team. It's like, man, why can't we catch a break? It's like, but it's just the way it falls sometimes. We had it was really fun that first half because nobody expected them to come out and do what we did, and that made it really, really fun. And it's like, as soon as they get out of Germany, it's like, oh, hey, Daniel Dimes has got a fracture in his leg. God damn it. Yeah. And then it starts. And it's like, going into KC, it's like, well, shit. It was already going to be a tall task to go in there and win the game, but now we can't run the offense we need to run, or, he's not mobile. Okay. He gets smashed. And then it's like, Houston, smashed. Here we go. There's the downfall. Yeah. And that's just the way it's going, man. 2025 is not a good year to be a fan of an Indianapolis team, which Bloomington still has an opportunity. But, Indianapolis.
Do it for every broken heart.
Yeah, Cignetti, man, Indiana needs you now more than we've ever needed anyone before ever. So, we need this to heal, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that the fair answer to this is that Anthony Richardson is the best chance the Colts have?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I still don't think it. I think we're not going to keep him. He's not going to be on the team next season.
For this season, he would. I believe Daniel Jones. I don't know what we're doing with him next year, to be totally honest. This is one of those things that you're just like, we suck again.
Yeah. Well, if anything, if you look at anything positive from the injury, we're not going to have to pay him $50 million a year now. We'll be able to sign him, I think, and I think they should. I think they should sign him, maybe extend him 2 or 3 years. And then I think Riley Leonard needs to finish the season because damn well he's going to have to start next season because Jones ain't going to be ready. So get Riley Leonard in there, get him some valuable snaps and experience, salvage what you can of the season. If anything, he's getting experience and he'll get used to the speed of the game. That's about all you can hope for right now. And AR should not even be in the conversation. If he's healthy enough to come off the IR, okay, he can be the backup. But I don't think he needs to be anywhere near the ones in practice. I don't think he's not going to be valuable at all. So you want to keep him healthy to get in the offseason to get some sort of trade value out of him or just let him go. And then see what you can get from him going into next season. Maybe we can get some picks, but I think Riley Leonard is definitely the way to go. I liked what I saw out of him when he came in. He plays pretty loose, which can be dangerous. It'll lead you to turnovers, but
he missed a few throws that
he
Jacksonville just didn't pick. Like they should have been picked.
And
like
I expect
downs
that
on that touchdown throw. It was way behind downs, and it went through two Jacksonville guys' hands. Like it was nowhere close. My wife was like, "I think he's just throwing it in between. I think he's just like, there's two Colts receivers. Let me throw it right in the middle because that's really where it went. Was right in the middle." I disagree with your take. I think that Anthony Richardson's the best chance the Colts have to salvage the end of the year and maybe make a playoff berth.
1 second.
The reason is because his skill set is still closer to Daniel Jones than Riley Leonard. And he knows the playbook well enough, and he can offer a wrinkle with his athleticism. The issue with Anthony Richardson more than anything is he gets injured and he can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say right now, if Anthony Richardson is healthy and able to come off IR to practice and start this Sunday, they do it now. If he's not, you go Riley Leonard until he plays poor enough to be pulled. Because if you have to invest in this week alone, just this week, to play Seattle, it's Riley's jobs to lose because he came in under a duress and all that, and then you can plug an AR in this week and say he's ready to go, and it can make sense to some degree. But it wouldn't make sense to bring in Leonard, have Leonard go this week, and then turn around and go, yeah, you get one touchdown, one interception, you were kind of okay, and we lost 28-17, and then turn around and bring in AR then. For me, I'm like you just said, keep grooming Riley. You don't really know what next season's going to look like, and your most likely thing is you trade AR for a pick, a third, a fourth, whatever it is, and Riley's your guy to open the season. Kind of like Purdy for Mac Jones kind of scenario. You have a guy that you're like, well, in a few weeks we could get our guy. So, yeah, you would prefer Riley unless AR is ready to go right now. That's the only caveat, which I don't think he is. His orbital bone is made of glass as well. So, yeah.
I just don't see any upside with that at all because, I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. He's not going to be a Colt next year. Yeah. But I think that
he's had a pretty good attitude.
I'm not saying he's been an asshole or anything like that, but
solid attitude. For
yeah. But I just think right now you need to invest in Leonard and just get him as many snaps as possible in these last 4 games. And they're going to be playing 4 excellent defenses. And it's going to give him a lot of experience and a lot of shit to realize. You know, maybe he has 2 interceptions every game. I don't give a shit right now. I really don't. But he'll be learning.
The dang ball.
Run it, yeah.
Run the ball.
And that's one of the problems, too, that I think led to Daniel Jones's injury is just the way too many dropbacks. I mean, what are we doing?
Was always the focus of the offense too.
Yeah.
Hey, well, at 3rd and 2, let's catch him on a pass. Like, wait a minute, it's 1st and 10. Let's catch him on a pass.
Let's run play action.
Can we run the ball?
Yeah, on 1st and 2nd down, we'll run play action. Get into a 3rd and 11. Come on, man. It's just the play calling is bad.
It was easy for Jonathan Taylor to fall into 30 carries, but lately I'm like, man, is he going to get 20?
Can this man get 15? You know, it's like, oh my God. Just if he has less than 25, it's a failure. That's just it.
Yeah, for real. Or at least total touches, right? You can wiggle it around if he has 3 passes or 4 passes thrown his way, and he only had like 20, 21 carries. It's like, okay, you about got 25.
Yeah, I can make do with that.
I got to talk about the game itself. I got to get it off my chest because it's burning a hole inside me. I got to get it out. The game was so badly called. Those refs better not sniff the playoffs.
They will.
It was the worst called I've seen a game all year. And nobody's going to talk about it because it was meaningless. It was a blowout. But they missed call after call after call. I've got them right down here. You guys, you disagree or not, you go look at them, you tell me what you think.
Mhm.
I got them right here. The first one, they call a PI. It was actually against Jacksonville. The ball was so far back in the back of the end zone, and Pittman ran out or like the 5-yard line. It was so far uncatchable. They call a PI on it. I was like, that's awful. There's nowhere near catchable. The very next play, they call a push off on Pittman in the end zone. What? What?
Sorry, I just got an alert.
What alert?
The Colts are bringing quarterback Philip Rivers into their facility Tuesday to work out to see if he may join their practice squad.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
There you go. There it is.
Gregory's going to have a coronary.
Yeah.
We need to go check on him right now.
Oh, man. I think he might be flatlining as we speak.
Phil.
Uncle Phil. But yeah, please continue with your rant. I am sorry.
I'm sorry. That totally just took the wind out. Let me get back into it if I can. Anyway, awful PI called against Jacksonville. I felt for him. Very next play, makeup call. Pittman gets called for the weakest fucking push off. It was already extended.
I didn't get that.
He barely had his hand touching the guy. He already had the contact, like the distance between.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even really get a push. And they called him for it anyway. I said, pay attention. The guy's that far away from him already.
Yeah.
So they make up call that bullshit.
Yeah.
And just because they fucked up the one before. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they take that one away. Later on, you have Brian Thomas. He catches one that's bobbling. And if you watch it in slow-mo, I thought it was a catch originally. You watch it in slow-mo,
yeah.
he's bobbling it until he has 1 foot on the ground.
And that second
the next foot is out.
Yep.
The very next foot is out. He has 1 foot. The other one's in the air.
Uh-huh.
And he finally gets it. The next foot is out of bounds. It's not a catch.
Yep.
Look, we got a 5-step bobble that's a catch, and we'll get to the other ones this weekend. I mean, what is a catch? What is a catch?
No, but
anyway,
I like to think I'm a catch.
Later, you are, bud. Later in the game, Riley Leonard gets called for a pick. He throws that ball to Pittman. Pittman gets his hands on the ball, and as soon as he gets his hands on the ball, the defender grabs the ball, and they both go down with the ball. Even J.J. Watt, that stupid Neanderthal, is like, Ty goes to the offense.
They're stupid.
Ty goes to the offense. Even the Mike Pereira, whoever comes, Ty goes to the offense. They didn't even review it. They just gave the ball to Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's always 50-50. Offense keeps possession. It's the way it's always been.
No shit. From Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson's game years ago. Mm-hmm. I do believe.
The Fail Mary. The Fail Mary.
They called it in the end zone at the same time. And ever since then, we were taught offense is the tiebreaker. Pittman touched the ball first. They both came down with it. They both had control. They both caught it. And they gave the ball to Jacksonville. For what fucking reason? You just got Riley Leonard his first fucking pick.
Yeah.
And then it gets better. Then he's in the safety end zone area later in the game. And he gets called down because his fingertips, these little guys, are still on the ball. So if he was being tackled and his fingertips were still on the ball, would he be down by contact? It wouldn't be a fumble?
No.
The utter ignorance of these calls. He's down. That's a safety. His thumb isn't on the ball anymore. He doesn't have it.
He's going to jam his thumb in your bottle.
It's still on his fingertips. Oh, okay, so he still has control, still has possession.
Yeah.
Next time I see a fumble, I'm gonna be like, hey, it's still in his fingertips. He's down.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
I didn't know what to think about that. That was just so stupid.
It made no sense. And that's what their reasoning was. Their reasoning the whole time was fingertips. This is new. I thought that if the ball's out of your hand, right, palm, off your thumb, then it's out of your hand.
Yep.
Never, my whole life, I'm 30-some years old, never once heard anyone tell me, well, his fingertip is still on the ball. Who cares?
Yeah.
Is he out of bounds?
That's almost
what are we talking
about? That's up there with using an index card to indicate a first down. That's borderline that. I didn't understand that. That was just one of those, okay, maybe we're just in fantasy land. And now that we know our quarterback's dead, then
And then
let's just do what we
the
can to make
final
sure Jacksonville gets this win.
And then the final one, Alec Pierce. Riley Leonard's first touchdown in his career, and they didn't even call it a touchdown. It's 2nd and 10. We're going to look at it anyway. I'm like, oh, wow, by the grace of God, they realized they fucked it up. No, they didn't change it. And he had the ball. They looked at it and were like, well, the ball doesn't really move, but we also don't see his hands on it, and it touches the ground. Yeah, it's wedged in between his arms. It's called a catch. The ball didn't move. He's got it wedged against his body and with his arms. His hands aren't on it yet. He's got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then you're going to call Thomas with a 5-step bobble that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break. What is a catch?
We'll never know. And until I can't help but feel that the referees are always going to make it about them until you make them full-time employees and unionize. That's the only thing that's going to, I think, stop this shit.
I don't know.
If you make them full-time employees, then you can be like, all right, you guys called a horrendous game. You are not officiating games for another week. You guys don't get a game next week. We'll have reserve referees for when the side judge, back judge, all those guys make horrendous calls, and then they should be replaced. It's like, all right, but you just so you know. And I'm not talking about did he pull his jersey or did he really hold him. There's going to be some calls where it's like depends on the angle you're at.
These were like mostly possession or not type calls.
Yeah.
They are supposed to have this shit figured out. This isn't a judgment call on penalty or not. This is, do you have the ball or not? And I thought we had this pretty much ironed out. I thought we were about 99% there.
Yeah.
And they're just showing that they still don't know. That they still have no real fucking clue. And you got the Raven game later we're going to talk about. I mean, they're showing you. They really don't fucking know.
Nobody knows, yeah. And it's got to be, there has to be a clear definition on what it is. You know, it's because it just seems like every week it comes down to a judgment call. And it depends on who the referee is. Who's wearing the white hat at what game. That's going to determine who wins, who loses. It's getting old.
Being about which referee crew you have and what they think is what. It's got to stop being that. It's one thing. It's like, well, all refs would have called it that way. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't. They're inconsistent. I don't think every reffing crew calls them the same way.
They don't. And they don't.
So,
but it needs to be blanketed for sure. Like, you guys have to be on the same page here. That or just we start getting referees. The only people who are doing anything are the people in New York. New York officiates every single game. That's
no
it.
More refs on the
no
field.
more refs on the field. And just let them duke it out. We'll go to robots.
That was all I had. The one thing I will say is Jacksonville was 4 of 6 in the red zone. Kudos to them. They did have 2 short fields, so 2 of their 4 conversions was really because we set them up basically in the red zone. Those were on us. Jonathan Taylor, I just think, Taylor doesn't normally reach the ball out like that. He
was doing too much. He put too much on himself.
Because Daniel Jones got hurt, and he's like, oh, let me get this first down. And it's like, that was out of character, kind of like the Bronco drop last year. It's a little out of character to make that kind of decision.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, yeah, he was trying to get extra yards. He was trying to break loose. But, I wasn't mad at him for it.
Yep, I'm ready to be done with that game. Let's move on.
Yes.
The Thursday game. The Cowboys and the Lions. I had guys texting me and saying, man, you got to put your money on the Cowboys. You got to bet the Cowboys, man, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, careful. We've already run through this on the J&K show. I told them verbatim exactly what we said here on the J&K show. Is that just when you think that the Cowboys are looking great, then you're going to spill your beer all over your wife.
They're going to let you down.
I put on here, was this, the Lions Cowboys, was this an elimination game for those teams?
Yeah.
So the winner
Well,
still has a chance. So Cowboys are out in your mind?
I think that there's, unless the Eagles just have a complete meltdown. I mean, and Dallas runs the table. I mean, Dallas's schedule is easier than Philly's, but I mean, you have to. Yeah, they need a lot of help. Philly has to melt down, and just drop every single game for the rest of the year, or just maybe one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just think Dallas is. It seems like it's the same story with them every year. I mean, they're in it until they're not, and it's
They
like,
have they have a 2-game, 3-game stretch. They look kind of
yeah,
nice, and then they drop a big one, and you're like, oh, they suck again. And
yeah,
then they lose another one and stuff. They're streaky and inconsistent.
mm-hmm, yeah. But then I don't think, and then just something will come along to derail them, which it was Detroit, so they come around and. Kudos to Detroit, man. I mean, they keep winning with just band-aid defenders.
Yeah.
And, every time that they had, what, 3 more go down? They lost Branch now for the year.
Yep.
I mean, it's just,
They
God.
really have not looked the greatest. So I can understand how people thought, oh, the Cowboys are going to catch them and stuff. And
Mhm.
Detroit, look, just to see the Detroit at 7-5, knowing how talented the team is, it's like I understand people's like, man, I think the Lions are going to miss this year. They're going to kind of drop the ball. There's just so much talent there that I feel like I'll believe that when the Lions are out. I'll believe it when they're officially out. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm going to pick them to miss until they're actually already out. And I'm like, well, damn, I guess that happened.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, they're just, man, they're too damn good to not be in it. And then you turn around and you see what Green Bay and Chicago did to each other yesterday, and it's like, I don't know if Detroit can do it. I mean, those two, they look more fundamentally sound than Detroit does right now, especially
Yeah.
on defense. Detroit's defense isn't going to stop anybody. They may get a couple plays here and there. They'll get you a couple sacks or a turnover or a fumble, but you can at least bank on Detroit allowing 21 or 24 points. They can score that easily, but
Mhm.
it's going to put their offense in a hole. And granted, Amon-Ra looked really good coming off that ankle,
Mhm.
but that offense can play with anybody, but their defense is just it's starting to become a mass unit like it was last year, and it was their downfall. But they kept winning. But once they got in the playoffs, there's just like, they ran into a really healthy, young, hungry team,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, well, if Detroit makes the playoffs this year, they're probably they're going to get in as a 7 probably.
Yeah.
So you're going to run in whoever is number 2, which is looking like it might be Chicago or Green Bay. It's just in January, and that's going to suck, dude. So
Yeah.
they're going to have to
I
go
hear
on the
you.
road. There's no, because they're not winning that division. They're not going to.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in, like I said, at best a 6, but that's if like San Fran or Green Bay has a meltdown and they just somehow get ahead of them. But I don't
What I
see that happening.
will point out is, in an ironic way, the Green Bay losses doesn't actually matter to the Lions as much because Green Bay has the tie, so they can't actually tie the Lions right now. So really, the Lions, they have 4 games left. They have to win out probably. Green Bay
Definitely.
would have to go 2-2. So it seems unlikely, but when we've seen what Green Bay has done here, sometimes it's that they play with their food and they kind of can get caught. And then the Bears, we're how much of a believers are we in the Bears? So I like the Lions. The Bears are good and the Packers are good, but the Lions, they're 1.5 games out. So I'm still not sold that they're out of the division just yet. I
Yeah.
like Gibbs and Montgomery. I like the combination. Amon-Ra looked fine. Detroit got a pick 6 on Dak Prescott in this game, and they had 5 sacks. So for the defense to have been getting injured and falling apart in some ways or another and losing key players, next man up mentality. They did it all last year, like you said. They forced 3 turnovers. I look at that and I'm like, you needed all 3 of those turnovers in a roundabout way. This game would have been really tight late because 44-30, you still let them get 30.
Yeah, you did.
So
I mean,
that's the
but
downside.
yeah, but Dallas's offense will do that to you.
It seems very Bengal defensey last year, kind of, where you think so much about how great they are on offense, but then you see that they kind of bend a lot on defense. They might have to go out and outscore some teams. And what they weren't doing for the last few weeks, I thought, was they weren't able to keep people off Jared Goff very much.
Yeah.
When you keep them off, then Jared Goff is able to do a fine job and you play a great game and he gets you in the 30 range. But when they're attacking him, Jared has looked a little suspect, a little happy feet like, which happens to a lot of QBs. But he specifically, you kind of look and go, oh, he's uncomfortable. He's getting rid of the ball about a second earlier than he wants on a lot of plays. So
Yeah.
the pass rush, like with Green Bay, has really been a difficult thing for the Lions this season. So I think they can overcome some of this stuff. They probably don't want Green Bay first round. I will agree to that.
No, yeah, they don't. But if I will tell you this: Detroit is somehow able to salvage it and win the division. You better get ready to pay Kelvin Shepherd a lot of fucking money, because there's going to be a lot of teams to be like, we want him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what he has done there has been amazing. He should be definitely considered top 3 coordinators out there right now. So
he's doing a good job.
He's doing really good. I don't think he's a head coaching guy this season, but after next season, if they continue to have this kind of success, then I think he should absolutely be considered for a head coaching gig somewhere. But yeah, what he's done has been awesome. So I'm a big fan of him and his style. But I will say, yeah, if Detroit is somehow able to get the division, still not likely, but if that happens, they better throw him a lot of
moolah. On the other side, Prescott, he threw for a lot of yards,
as he does,
but Lamb got concussed and he had one of those, his hands.
He had a Tua moment, yeah,
and that's concerning because
I will say,
honest, he didn't have a snapback reaction. Really, he was airborne and he just landed hard.
Yeah, he landed
on
flush.
his shoulder and head, just really hard.
Yeah,
and there wasn't a lot of whiplash, so it must have been pretty.
When I saw that live, I thought he was like talking to himself, like, "God, why couldn't I catch that?"
Why, yeah.
And then he rolls over. I'm like, "What?"
They were
and then they showed the replay, and I'm like, "What?" And I thought he may have broken his collarbone or dislocated his shoulder. I'm like, but he didn't hit his head. But then they showed him, he was like all wobbly and kind of slow. But it's like, yeah, his shoulder and his head hit at the same time. So it's like, yeah, that probably didn't feel too good. But you expect at that point, it's like, okay, well, now it's going to be George Pickens' time. And it's like, he disappeared. He disappeared, but Flournoy, man. Wow.
Flournoy, is that, yeah.
Whoa. Man, where did this dude come from? 9 catches?
They have Tolbert. They are fine at receiver. It's ironic, you bring in a Pickens and then you find out you actually have a lot of decent receivers. Yeah. You got Tolbert, you got Turpin, you got Lamb, and you bring in Pickens and now you find out you got Flournoy, and it's like I mean, it's a good problem to have. You got plenty of guys, right? The 5 receivers is plenty. But for me, their best weapon on their whole team, I go back to it from like week 4. Aubrey's the best offensive player on their team. He made 3 50-yard field goals in the game.
Yeah.
Somebody put on there that he tied an NFL record. Didn't Matt Gay get us 40 50-yarders a year or two ago? I mean, they were trying to say that he had 3 50-yarders and it was an NFL
it was the Ravens game, right?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, we've had 4. I've seen 4 50-yarders, but I didn't get a chance to go looking into it. Maybe I'm wrong, but regardless, Aubrey's a dude. But yeah, I think Dallas is out, and the Lions, like you said, probably won't get a division win, but I still like their odds as a playoff team. I think that they just have a lot of talent. I cannot rule them out until they're out.
Yeah, what they're doing on defense, man, it's nothing short of spectacular, and it's so improbable. But I don't know. I just think it's going to catch up to them. It has to. You can't. It can't keep happening. It just can't keep. It's not sustainable. You can't lose a Brian Branch and expect Avonte Maddox to come in and just start cleaning house. It's just not going to happen.
At least they still have Aiden Hutchinson. See, last year they lost him on top of the 14 guys they lost. This time around, they haven't lost Hutch yet.
Well, when you lose him, you lose 3, just about.
Exactly.
So, thank you. But yeah, that defense. I just don't see how they can keep doing it. But maybe they can. I mean, who the fuck knows? But that offense will play with anybody. That offense will keep them in games. It's just what Detroit defense are you going to get week in and week out? That's going to be the question. It's like if they can keep this up.
Yeah. And are you able to block for Goff? I think that if they face some teams with a healthy pass rush, that might be how they lose, because that's the only time I've seen their offense not great. So yeah, I agree. The next game, speaking of defense, we got Seahawks and Falcons.
Yeah, a lot of D in that game.
My burning question here is, what are the Seahawks Super Bowl chances? How do you see them as a Super Bowl contender? How high up the board do you
I would say 50-50. I mean, they're 50-50, I think. Because Sam Darnold can have 2 or 3 turnovers and they can still beat you by 21 points. Mm-hmm. It's just, man, their front 7 is just so strong. Mm-hmm. And like you can't do anything. I mean, Tennessee, to their credit, did okay against them. But, if you don't have a ground game, you're not going to do anything against Seattle. So you have to be able to at least run the ball or threaten to run the ball if you're going to have any sort of chance against them. Because it doesn't matter if you can throw the ball or not, because if you can't get that ball out in 2.5, 3 seconds, you're going to get sacked. That's just how it is. That their fucking defense is so good. I mean, you can't do anything against them, except for you have to have like a phenomenal day running the ball. That's the only thing you can hope for. And then they're going to have to bring their guys up, and that's the only chance that you have. Is you have to be able to get on them with the run game early. And then maybe you can beat them with some deep balls or something. But yeah, and as far as this game goes, I don't want to hear the name Kirk Cousins ever again. I don't want to hear that name. I'm going to. Because what he has done in his career, I'm not going to say he's been shit. He hasn't been shit, but this dude has made so much money being mediocre. It's ridiculous. His amount of money that he has conned teams out of based on what he did in a couple of seasons in Minnesota pisses me off. But I don't want to hear anybody this offseason be like, well, Kirk Cousins can go to Cleveland and go there. No. Kirk Cousins can go here. No, he can't. Kirky needs to take his chains and go home. Just go home. Be a dad. Be a husband. Go to church. That's all he needs to do now. That's his job on Sunday. He can be a minister. He can lead a prayer circle. That's it. Maybe coach a high school football team. but he does not need to be in the NFL anymore. I am
I
so
understand.
sorry, but that is Michael Penix's team. It
Yeah,
is
and
no,
he's hurt.
yeah. Kirk's going to get hurt. How many
He
times did
may
they smash him?
look. Listen, Kirk Cousins is my buddy.
No, he's not.
When you talk ill of him, I hear him, grunting through another rib injury, and he's like, I don't like it. He's a tough SOB. But yes, I agree with your stance. He should go
Garbage.
ahead and retire because we'll remember him as someone who tailed off and he had, you could tell he was done and then he decided to hang it up. And we won't have seen this like weird won't go home thing, right?
Yeah.
So last year it was transitioning. He played kind of bad, but sometimes he played good. I think last year he
Mm-hmm.
had a 5 touchdown game.
Yeah.
So he's played good. He's now it's Penix's team. I'll be his backup. Penix gets hurt. Kirk comes in. He's doing his job, but I agree. I understand. Like it would be probably the right thing for him to go ahead and retire. I get it.
Yeah. You don't want to see him overplay his welcome or overplay his abilities. At
Seattle's
one
defense
point he was a really good quarterback, but
he was a guy that you could trust to sling the ball around. And he could bring you out of a hole too. If you were down a lot, he could get to the
yeah,
ball, get you back in the game. Yesterday, Atlanta, they're officially out of the playoffs, right? And they went 1 of 13 on third down. So, like, I know it's
yeah,
Seattle, and it sucks because it's like, you might not have done that bad against, Tennessee or somebody else. I get it. But yeah, you got 1 third down the whole game.
it's
Seattle,
just
they kept it close. But then 31 unanswered in the second half,
yeah,
essentially. And you
yeah,
did nothing. You couldn't get anything the whole game. No touchdowns, all field goals.
yeah. Like at halftime, it was like, man, this is a game,
6-6.
and then it's
It was a
like
game.
you look up in the ticker, and it's like, oh wow, that was fast. Whoops.
Well, you open the second half, and Shaheed takes it to the house, and it's like, oh yeah, that's why we brought him in as a depth wide receiver with Horton out,
Yeah,
and yeah, he's a great kick returner on top of that. They're just deep. Seattle's got everything they need, except I have them not Super Bowl bound because with Darnold, I think he's really good, but I don't think they have the running game to complement him.
they don't, and their running game
I
is
like the running backs, but they are not takeoverable. They remind me of the kind of guys that Mahomes has had in the past, where he's got Pacheco, McKinnon, or Hilaire.
yeah,
He's got guys to plug in, and they like fit. Hey, they're not too bad, but they're not dynamic or 100-yard rushing guys. And because of that, Darnold will have to win a game, and he's had 4 interceptions just a couple weeks ago against the Rams. So like you
they
can see that he's limited a little in a big moment. I think NFC Championship, but I do not think Super Bowl.
I think they could if they would pick one. If they would just say, all right, Charbonnet, you're the guy, or Walker, you're the guy. I think they could. If you give one of those guys 20 plus carries, they're going to get you 100 yards every game. I think they could do that.
Maybe.
But when you have Njigba and you have Shaheed and you have Cooper Cup, why would you want to run the ball? It's like throwing the ball is so sexy there, which
and they have tight end.
I could
University
understand that.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
tight end
AJ
University.
Barner. Like, where the hell did he come from? But I could see if you have weapons like that, you really don't want to run it. You run it because you feel like you have to mix it up a little bit. But these guys, they don't have to run. They really don't have to. They can, but and that's what I think makes them so scary. It's going to be one of those 50-50 things. That I give them a 50% chance to get there. Maybe not win it, but I think that they have the team that they have put together is one of those. It's like you look at them, you're just like, there's something special about them. The way that they can make mistakes. Like when the Rams beat them earlier this year, they had 4 turnovers and still only lost by 1.
I know.
That's like, oh my god.
Can do that? Can they do that against Philly and all the other teams? Like can they Can they have 4 turnovers in that way and they're right in the game? Like, I honestly just think for whatever reason they lucked out more
Yeah.
often because of that defense. And I'm like, Darnold can't do that again, right? And like, it's going to be a lot on him to not do that. I know that they are talented enough to go to Super Bowl, but my mind is like, not yet. I would say NFC Championship's the farthest they can go.
Yeah, and maybe I think they would have probably if I was an odds guy, I would say they probably have a 75% chance to make the NFC Championship. It just depends on where they fall. Can they win the division? I don't think they're going to overtake the Rams, but I mean, even then, I mean, their path would be a little bit easier because I think they're going to be the 5. So if they're the 5, then you look at who's the worst amongst the divisions. It's either going to be Tampa or Carolina.
Are going to have their hands fucking full.
You know,
I mean,
you
don't want that smoke.
Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. So it's like, okay, if I'm Seattle, I'm like, all right, Rams, you can have the division. We'll just take the easier path to come and get you.
That's true.
You know,
I
so
get it.
Who knows? Because the Rams are going to have to eventually. They're going to have to go up against the Chicago's or the Green Bays or Lions or something. And that's going to be a pretty tall task. And that could wear them out.
Teams are going to be tough to beat.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing too is Witherspoon is starting to become more of a lockdown corner, I feel.
Yeah.
And then they draft the guy. It was Amon Wari. He blocks the field goal and gets a pick. And it's like, you mean to tell me Seattle's as good as they are and they draft well every time too, because he's like a safety and they have him plugged in and like ready to go. And it's like, they kind of got the Philly kind of thing going that nobody's really talking about. It's like they've been drafting really good lately. And if you look at their roster, they're loaded with guys on D. So it's just kind of, an unsung hero out there that people, 10-3, and they feel kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the scary part. Is how do you get there, and yet really it's still nobody's talking about them. It's like you better start paying attention, man, because they're gonna do some shit.
I hope we don't get blown out.
Yeah, I have an awful feeling about it though. I really do. I feel like it's gonna be a long day. And that's the unfortunate part. I don't want it to happen, but I don't know anybody who says, I want my team to get beat by 40 this week. But I feel like it's coming, and like it could be really, really ugly, really, really fast, and it's one of those I'm going to be wasted by the second quarter.
All right. Well, the next game, which I've been itching to talk about, the Steelers and the Ravens playing for the division lead. My burning question is,
we got it back.
You got it back. My burning question though was Likely's touchdown a catch or not?
Well, if you look at the stat sheet, no, it wasn't. I, however, think it was. I think that was a catch.
He got Dez Bryanted.
He did get Dez Bryanted. But I think, they were looking at that third step like they always do. And it's like, come on, man. He got Dez Bryanted. He got Calvin Johnson, and it goes by the question you asked earlier. Does anybody know what the hell a catch is? No. If you have a different referee crew, I think it gets called a catch, and it's like nobody knows. It's just like Baltimore got screwed out of that because the crew just could not figure it out. But I personally think it was a catch.
So years ago, for everybody that may not remember, I'm sure everyone does, Dez Bryant, he goes up, he catches the ball, right? And as he's spinning, he lands on a foot and dives, right? And he pushes the ball out. And he hits the pylon, loses the ball. And they say it wasn't even a catch. And the argument was football move, he didn't get his feet in, this and that. What I don't understand is why we're so dense to only allowing football moves be with legs. How are
Yeah.
we still in 2025 and the only football move you can do is with your legs? I don't get it. How about when the ball comes in, you couldn't move the ball anywhere in the world of anything unless you have possession of it. If the ball comes in here and I ain't got it and I drop it, then I can't move it anywhere. But if the ball's coming in and then I'm like, and I move it, that means I have it. I can't move it with any amount of control unless I have the ball.
Yeah.
For Isaiah Likely to catch that ball and have the wherewithal to hold it away from the guy on his back and have 2 steps in, and then you tell him, yeah, but you don't have it until you get to third. When did we start doing 3?
Yeah.
It's 2.
It's
It's
so
2.
annoying. It's always been 2. And then they
All of
look
a
for football
sudden,
move.
the hardest thing to figure out is a catch. I don't understand how could he have had the ball and had it out if he didn't have the ball. When you tell me it's not a catch, you're saying he didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
But he clearly did.
Yeah.
You're really giving the defenders well over enough time to knock a ball away is what you're really doing, which is absurd.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it.
I do too. I said it just too many of these games come down to, what officiating crew do you have and what's the likelihood of them, getting what is a catch right. There's some crews out there that will tell you that, they'll go out there and they'll actually make the right call. But and then, whether somebody will challenge or New York steps in and says, hey, we got to call that incomplete. It's like, no, you don't. You just use your freaking eyeballs. What do your eyes tell you? And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, he had clear possession. He made a football move. It's good. It should have been. It should have been. And it's like, all right, well, I guess I don't know shit. And I'm not anybody important, but I mean, shit. What do your eyes tell you?
Like, it's just so stupid. As soon as the ball is thrown, it just throws like every rule that we understand out the door. Because if he was running with the ball and he got obviously 2 or 3 steps in the end zone, it's dead as soon as he crosses the white line.
As soon as that ball touches.
But he can be in the middle of the end zone with the ball, and they're over here judging. Well, let's start the stopwatch. How many feet is that? Is it in his hands or is it bobbling? Like, we have overdone the idea of a catch to the point where it's almost not even fun anymore. Like, he caught it.
Yeah.
He caught it. Calvin Johnson caught it. Des Bryant caught it. We're over killing the rule to the point where it's almost unrecognizable. Like, it's a catch. Yeah. The ball was moving this direction. It stopped moving because of a force on the ball. It didn't keep going. It just would have kept going if he didn't catch it. It would have just moved. It stopped all momentum because he caught it.
Yep. But that don't matter no more. What matters anymore is what was the spread of the game and what was the player prop for Isaiah Likely. We'll have to go back and see what that was.
Baltimore obviously was becoming a favorite for the division because they were down and out. They were starting to have the darling vibe. They win that game. They have sole custody of the division after they were way out. They're at home. And so, yeah, of course. Baltimore would get screwed. Roughing the snapper early in the game. John Harbaugh screaming at the official, you got to hit his head or neck for it to be a call. That's what roughing the snapper is. That's the rule. And neither guy, they just mowed him over on his shoulders. Neither of them contacted the head. They completely came in, took his shoulders out, and he fell over. And they're just over here trying to reach to try to block the field goal. And they call it back. And it's like, John probably is right. I trust John Harbaugh a lot more than I trust these referees.
Oh, yeah.
If he says you have to contact the neck and head, I agree with that. I think that is consistently called week to week. when the guy's head's all the way down and they get hitting him and knocking him over, that is the call. He got his head up and was being hit in the shoulders and he just got depleted like a lineman gets depleted if he doesn't stand the fuck up and block.
Mm-hmm.
He got knocked over and they called a penalty. So they get 4 more points on that possession because Kenneth Gainwell scores a touchdown on that drive.
Yep. Because, hey, what was the spread? I mean, you can't help. I mean, sometimes, dude, do I genuinely think that games are quote unquote rigged? No. But do I feel like the referees are there to influence the spreads of games? Yes. Yes. I genuinely think it's not a who wins or who loses, but it's a how much money does Vegas win or how much money does Vegas lose. I genuinely think that's right now, given the quality of officiating that we've had the last couple of years, I genuinely think that's the only role of the official. Don't let the spread get too far out of hand because, we have all the money is on Baltimore at 4.5. So, or hey, the money's on Pittsburgh, -3. So a lot of people are betting Baltimore on this. So let's make sure Pittsburgh wins by more than 4. So it's like you can't help but with some of the things that happens in these games, you look at it, you have to wear the foil hat sometimes. So it's like it's because things just happen that make you think, why did they do that?
It's almost like it was supposed to happen. Yeah.
Scripted.
Yeah. And you got Aaron Rodgers. He had his discount double check, right? But then he caught his own pass at one point. But it's ironic because when he did catch it, another defender kind of caught it. And guess what? The tie went to the offense. So I guess we just didn't have a discount double check to cash in. That's why we didn't get it.
We had the wrong crew, man. We had the wrong crew.
Ridiculous. So inconsistent.
Yeah. And anyway, then the crew that we had, the referee, his voice is annoying. The way he says penalty. 5-yard penalty. 10-yard penalty. It's like, dude, go to a speech therapist or something.
We'll circle back since you brought it back up a little. I can't stand J.J. Watt on commentary, dude.
He's such bad luck for us.
Not even so much bad luck, but he is such a brown-nosed fucking commentary guy. If he's not talking about some stupid coach chewing gum, then he's talking about how the official was right. Every time I turn around, the official was right. And I'm like, can we just get a different commentating crew? I'm so tired.
I do want him to change it up. It's been J.J. Watt and Ian Eagle for the last 4 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks now. Like, come on.
But, I didn't mind how he was calling it against Houston last week because he was like, that's not a penalty. He was actually like being reasonable, but along those same lines, it's like, why do that's the first thing I noticed when the game started. You could hear Ian Eagle, so I'm like, God, we got Eagle and Watt again? It's like, at this time, I'll take that annoying chick so I can at least mute the TV.
That's not her name.
I'm going to let my misogyny take over sometime.
Anyway, no, you're canceled.
Yeah.
The next game, not a lot to discuss, but kind of some interesting discussion. Titans-Browns. I put burning question was, does Stefanski dislike Sanders?
I just think Stefanski wants to get the fuck out of Cleveland. He don't want to be there anymore.
So you go down. Sanders is having a fine game. He really is. He's having himself a nice game. He's doing a good job. He had 4 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
He goes down there. They're down 2 touchdowns after a block punt by Tennessee. They block a punt, so then they score. Tony Pollard had himself a game, 2 touchdowns, 161 yards, right?
Yeah.
Tennessee's got life. Ward's getting short fields. They're connecting on some stuff. They're down 14. Shedeur takes him down the field, runs it in the end zone, touchdown. All right, they go for 2. I don't know why. I guess just because they're so far out of it. Why the fuck not?
They had to. They had to go for 2.
So they were down 14. So when they went for the first one, They're doing that, I guess, so that later they can get an extra point that wins it. I don't know. They were going for it
Mhm.
early. They're down 14, so they really could have just got 7 on that drive, but they decide they want 8. Don't know why. They don't get it, so now they have to do it the next time. So they get
Yeah.
the ball back and they drive down the field. Shadur lofts one up to Fannin, beautiful corner ball. Fannin
Yeah.
brings it down. And then when they go for 2, Shadur isn't even in the game.
Isn't even on the field.
What are we doing? 4 touchdowns at that moment. And he did slip on the last 2-point conversion. And I'm just like looking at that. I'm going, Stefanski, you really you don't like him. You were told
Does
by management you have to play Shadur. He's not your guy. And you, like you just said, wants out. Because that makes no sense at all. He just drove you down the field and got another touchdown. You were down 2 tutties, and you're
Yeah.
there. And he's not even out there. And then Judkins
Yeah.
doesn't even know what he's doing on the fucking play.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's one of those head scratchers. It's like that when I saw that, I'm like, you just showed me that you don't want to be there anymore. I mean, I don't know if he has some sort of a hatred or a dislike of Shador. Maybe he doesn't like his personality. That's fine. It's not for everybody. But I mean, shit, you're still the head coach of the team. This dude is your best option to win games. You know, you don't want to sabotage it because you're going to want to go work somewhere else next year. You may not be a head coach, but you're going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere, maybe. So you don't want to go out there and make a dumbass decision like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be like, okay, well, you were playing the Titans, the worst team in the league, and you go for 2 without your starting quarterback on the field, who at that point had over 350 passing yards, four total touchdowns. What are we doing?
That's like pulling. I mean, I don't want to make the comparison, but just anyone could be on fire. Like that's like pulling Mahomes or Josh Allen or Burrow. There's a lot of guys that have 4 touchdowns in the game at quarterback. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Baker, anyone,
No.
not one of them would get pulled out. Not even Drew Brees when they had Taysom Hill. They would never do that ever.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dion didn't come running out on the field. And what are you doing pulling him out this game, man? You out your mind. What are you doing?
And you know, it like you said with Stefanski, for the viewers out there, if you've ever watched some of Bleacher Report's stuff, one of the cartoons they made way back was called Game of Zones, and it was a basketball parody. And on there, when Jimmy Butler was on Minnesota, he has this famous phrase where he goes up to and he just says, "Trade me." And for me, I'm feeling like Stefanski literally did that. Was like, "Fire me."
Yeah.
Because it really makes no sense
Yeah.
at all.
Or that famous MJF promo in AEW. Tony, I want you to fire me.
I want you to
fire me. You Mark.
You Mark.
But yeah, it's like, oh my God. It's like, what? Why would you do that? That just seems to be like such a left field call.
I'm honestly
and at that
fine
time,
with it.
But look,
if it's like a 1 touchdown, Shadur's 1 touchdown, he's played kind of sporadic. Tim Tebow type, that's fine.
I would understand. I would have understood. You got to pull something out of your ass to make something work. I would understand that, but it's like at that point he's making great decisions. He's just shy of 400 passing yards.
Yeah,
and it's like, man, come on, that's just stupid. Just stupid.
It was a tank move? Do you think that it was a low key tank move? Like, all right, we got as close as we can, but we're supposed to lose for a draft pick.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still, I think, 2 games ahead of them. Tennessee still got the number 1 pick. I mean, it helps, yeah, but you're still behind Tennessee. You're behind the Raiders for the number 1 pick. So I mean, yeah, Cleveland is like, okay, well, we just want to secure a top 5 pick for next year. But that's every goddamn year. They're picking in the top 3 to 5 every year.
It shouldn't really matter.
And it hasn't done anything for them.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten them any more wins. It hasn't gotten them any further. Myles Garrett's still their only good freaking player. He's the only one that ever gets in the headlines, and I'm still not sure why in the hell he resigned. But I mean, god dang, if it wasn't for him, this team would probably be in London.
Ooh. Hot take.
Hot take.
Also, I wanted to give Ward. Wanted to give Ward a shout out. This is the first time this season that he was not sacked twice. Shout out to Ward.
Good job, offensive line.
And this was against Myles Garrett. So, like, seriously, shout out to Ward.
Yeah. Well, the one sack Garrett got, so.
Yes,
it's okay.
Because he's chasing history. He's 3 away now.
Yeah. He's got what, 20 now? He's at 20?
Yeah. And he needs 20. He's at, 22 and a half's the record, so he needs 3.
He's going to shatter it.
I hope.
He might beat it this week.
I hope.
I hope so too.
The next game we have the Commanders and Vikings, and this one honestly was pretty shocking for me.
Not for me.
I put on here Daniels giving RG3 vibes yet?
This season, yeah. He should not after his elbow, they should have just shut him down. They're not getting anywhere.
3-9. Why? I don't know why they were playing them.
Shut
That's
him
why
down.
I almost was like, well, the Commanders might pull out a game on Minnesota, surprisingly. You know, McLaurin's back. And I still picked Minnesota. And, 31-0.
Didn't do anything. Well, let's give a little bit of love to JJ here. He looked like Michigan JJ. He didn't have an interception.
He played
his first game so far without an interception.
Yeah. The last few weeks he hadn't played well. This was definitely his best game over the last month for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think he deserves a little bit of the love. So I would say definitely give him some of that. But, and he had a really not a astronomical statistical game that's going to jump out at you. But he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't turn the ball over. He took sacks when he needed to, and again, Justin Jefferson is just non-existent.
It's weird, right?
He did this without him. And what in the hell? You can't sit here and say, well, J.J. McCarthy, who just is playing so terrible, Justin Jefferson's not getting the ball. Well, okay, J.J. McCarthy played excellent, but yet Justin Jefferson didn't get the ball. I know he's going to get coverages rolling his way.
Yeah.
But, he's such a dynamic player that he's at least good for 5 catches every game, but he's not getting that this year. He's still stuck at 2 touchdowns? And he can't have 50 catches. He can't have that many yet. If he's anywhere near it. But
3 a game would be 50 on the year, but not yet. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But I mean, Addison and Naylor are getting the main share of the targets. But
coverages is a lot to do with it. But a part of me is honestly thinking that Jefferson might be the A.J. Brown move that Tennessee made. I think Jefferson could actually get moved as a mutual Stephon Diggs. It's a mutual kind of like, this is going to help us. We're going to get something for you. It helps build what we're trying to do. You're happier somewhere that makes more sense for you right now. I see it as a possibility. I don't think the Vikings should do it. I think he's just too valuable and good. But I think that that's what's going to end up being the talk of the offseason for them is are they going to move Jefferson?
Yeah. I think he's going to actually request a trade.
Maybe.
He's not, and he hasn't been that guy, that diva kind of player to where, he's gone out and said things like he's not happy with his amount of targets or anything like that, or
he looks unhappy.
He's upset. But this season has been different. Now, he's not going out and causing drama or saying the wrong things or anything like that. But as far as his body language goes, it just tells you he's no longer sold on the system.
Minnesota won 14 games last year. I mean, that's tough. That's a big drop off.
Yeah.
They'll be lucky if they win half that. They're 5-9.
Mm-hmm.
5-8, 5-9. I think it's 5-8.
Yeah.
They're going to be lucky if they get half that, and that's tough. You know, you had Sam Darnold, and you were one of the best teams in the league. You were the first or second best team in the entire league on record, and now you already know like this season ain't gonna happen, and season's not even over yet. Like that's a big
Yeah.
drop off. And I think
Very
for
big.
some of these guys who are dynamic or who are top 5 at their position, it's a bit tricky for them to have that. I would hope that he's willing to give McCarthy a little bit of time, but it seems
Yeah.
like this year he's shown a little bit of impatience with the process.
Yeah. He's getting frustrated. I understand that, and I don't blame him. You know, because he's gone from being the most productive wide receiver in the last 5 years, and then to this year, I mean, just nothing. And I understand why he would be frustrated if he is, but I think you're right. I think if you give JJ another full off season going into next season, I think will be your tell on what JJ McCarthy is going to be. Because I usually like to give like your first season, it's the learning curve. It's the things come at you fast. As you get used to the speed of the game, you know, you get used to disguises and coverages and everything like that. Learn how to slide your protections, stuff like that. And then in that second full season, if you're not grasping it, you're probably not going to. So then
because then by the third year, you're bringing in competition to see, are we bringing him back on a new deal or not? It's like a process, and a lot of teams are flexing it that way. And so I could see that since he got injured and missed his whole rookie campaign, I could see them looking at that. My concern is really that the Vikings will overthink their situation to some degree, and they might go, wow, if we move Jefferson, how much could Jordan Addison grow as the number 1? And I think they'll just pull the trigger, thinking that their picks and the growth and the things are just too valuable. And I don't know. I don't like trading a guy like Jefferson, who's, like you said, not complaining.
Yeah, no, he's not doing anything wrong. I think he's actually managing himself very well.
Better than AJ
Brown. God, way better than AJ Brown.
Right?
But given a player of his caliber and somebody who's used to getting 5, 8, 10 catches every single week, to then rolling into this season and being lucky to get 4.
Yeah.
And not having the touchdowns, that you're used to having and the success that you're used to having. I think somebody with his credentials has every sort of right to be like, look, fuckers, do something here. But he's staying, to his credit, he is staying calm. He is staying quiet. He's not going out and causing shit, and saying dumb shit in the interviews. He's still a team guy. Yeah. And
he could easily be a diva too, and
very easily be a diva. But that makes me respect him so much more that he's not doing that. He's still coming out and he's still got a positive attitude going into the games every week. Now, sometimes it's kind of hard to realize how loud your face can be, but that's raw emotion, and there's nothing you can do to cover that up. But
the game, it's hard.
He's a competitor, man. He's a lion.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that he hasn't kind of blown up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he hasn't, I give him kudos for that, and he should be able to go wherever he wants to go. At the end of this season, he says, you know what? The system just isn't for me anymore. I need to go somewhere else. You're like, look, I totally understand it. If he says he wants to stay in Minnesota, I understand it, and I respect him very much for that. But he should be able to make his own choice.
I shouldn't do this because it's propaganda and it's just gross. But I actually think I know where he would go, because obviously everybody's like, "Oh, go with Cincinnati." They do not need another receiver.
They don't have the money. they don't have the money.
And it's only perpetuating the problem more.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
listening. No, AJ Brown, as an example, who did he play for before they traded him, and what coach was actually annoyed that they had traded him at the draft? Mike Vrabel. The New England Patriots would probably be very interested in bringing in Jefferson for where Drake May is right now. I would be very concerned that Jefferson or someone like his caliber would end up in New England next year, because
Yeah.
that's really when they look at their situation, they're like, yeah, that we are in the market for a number
Yeah.
one of that caliber. And I really don't want to see that happen.
I don't want to see that happen either. I just think that would mess with the deal that they have right now. I mean,
Well,
Diggsy being your number one, man, is working out really well for them. And Douglas
true,
is coming up. Douglas is playing really well.
true. He'll be a year older. Diggs will be a
Yeah.
year older.
And Hollins is working there. I just think that what they have right now there is working. And it seems like that they are at their best when they have a lot of no names.
I know, but that was Tom Brady. How far can Drake May take this team with no names?
Yeah. It worked a lot. It worked a lot. See, when they had Randy Moss, they didn't win shit. They went
undefeated.
18 and
What are you
0.
talking about?
They went
And then they
18 and
lost the
0.
Super Bowl.
But they lost the ship. They lost the one thing that mattered most.
Well, but that's still the best we've ever seen a team be, right? That
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
best
yeah.
we've seen them.
It's definitely, even if you include the 72 Dolphins, I still think that Patriots team was the best team in history. I really do.
Probably.
I
The
really
Dolphins
do.
only had a 13-game season when they played.
Yeah, they were 13 and 0. And it's like,
So,
okay, well, New England went 18 and 0, 18 and 1 overall.
and they won
I still think the
they
only
won
other team,
23 in a row because they finished the
yeah,
year before undefeated, like 5 in a row to end and stuff. So they were like 23
yeah.
now or some crazy shit.
Like the only other team that you could maybe put them with would be that 85 Bears squad. But I still think, yeah, that was the best team ever. But I don't think you would want to put a Jefferson with that group, just because of the I don't know. It would to me it would seem to throw things off. But if you were to say, you could probably maybe put an AJ Brown on that team, and it probably wouldn't mess with too much. But like a Justin Jefferson, no, I don't know. Justin Jefferson, I don't know.
That's a terrible take.
That's not a terrible take.
What a big ass diva. AJ Brown and Diggs on the same team. Watch out.
Yeah, but the only difference is the coach and the receiver like each other, and
You're
AJ Brown would want to be there.
Yeah, Vrabel. Yeah, that's fine. You're piggybacking off of my thought process to some degree. Good job.
That's what we do here, bro. I take your idea and I make it better.
All right. Anyway, the Commanders, they played bad. 3 turnovers. Also with a turnover on downs. That happened while Daniels was in. They go for it on 4th down within the red zone. They fail. 8th straight loss for the Commanders. So at one point they were 3-2.
Yeah.
8 in a row. Daniels and everything going to shit. Like you said, McCarthy was good. And you know what? The Vikings, when they run the ball well, that's what a shock. McCarthy will probably give you his really strong game if you run the ball well. Yeah. Did you watch Michigan for the years that he was run the darn ball? They have to invest in the trenches with McCarthy, especially if you have Jefferson. Make sure your trenches are strong. Those 10 guys on both sides of the ball, for that matter, make sure that it's as good as you can possibly make it. Because, yes, running the ball, playing play action, Jefferson getting his 3 to 5, unfortunately, may not be higher than that until McCarthy becomes a little more methodical.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that the Vikings invest in the trenches, make sure you can run the ball, because that's how you'll get your best out of McCarthy, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think it's time to get rid of Aaron Jones. I think he's past it. I think
probably draft a younger running back, second,
maybe
third,
get
fourth round.
Yeah, but I think Mason should be the number one there.
Sean Tucker, you see what he can do for Tampa. Find a guy like that you elevate to some touches and see what you could diamond in the rough. I mean, you could just find him. The next game, it was a crap game, but if I'm being honest, I don't even like this question, but it has to be a question because they're 6-7. Is Miami truly in the hunt?
No.
But they are.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I mean, if you look at it mathematically, yes.
They have the same record as another very notable team. Can you name that team?
The Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs and the Dolphins have the same record.
Yeah.
Just
let that sink in.
Like, let your brain just throb on that.
Yeah. I think I just got a migraine. But yeah, they have no chance in hell. They're not.
No.
They're not going to get in because you're not going to get 3 teams from the AFC East and Buffalo or New England. Neither one of them are going to fall apart. So Miami has absolutely no chance in hell to make anything happen. But that being said, they are on fire. Stop. Okay, this is over. But yeah, no, they're not going anywhere. You know, granted that they're playing very well, but they still have to be firing Mike McDaniel. You know, I think that maybe he's playing or he's coaching for another job somewhere else next year, showing them what he can do. Tua's trying to play for another job somewhere else as well. I just think they're in desperation mode. And, you know, I don't even know what in the hell yesterday was. You know, it was so bizarre. You know, Tua didn't impress too much. And Wright outrushed freaking Achane.
Well, Achane got hurt.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
But I mean, yeah. Well, when I look at this, he had 7 carries for 92 yards.
Yeah. Also,
which is pathetic.
He was doing really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they ran.
He was doing well.
239 rushing yards between Achane and Wright. Pretty nuts, yeah, to say the least. Every time we turn around, when we talk about a Miami win, it has to do with how well they ran the ball. They really just totally screwed themselves early in the year. If they could have pulled any of this running out of their ass, we're having a whole different narrative of Miami. Mm-hmm. We're just talking about them as they're in the hunt. They're you know, like the vibe of the scenario. They could have lost Tyreek Hill and McDaniels and everything. We would still be sitting here talking about like, well, you know, they're kind of up and down and this and that, but they had started off so poorly and so just out of complete rhythm for a lot of games. They thought Tua was just going to be the guy. It's like, yeah, no, actually just run the ball. That just try to run the ball 3 times a game and be.
That's like, what we're trying to get our guy to do.
Yeah. What was their defense only allowed 207 yards, 6 sacks, but you know, the Jets, they have this whole carousel at quarterback. Fields was out, but he was benched. He has a knee going on. You get Tyrod Taylor. You know what? I'm going to go out here. I like Tyrod Taylor, but you know what? I think it's time for him to retire because every single moment of his whole career, when he just like, oh, hey, you're going to be the starter, he always gets hurt.
That opportunity. He gets hurt, yeah.
Always. I'm like, you're kidding me. I saw they got hurt again, and then we got Brady Cook. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. Tyrod, man, just hang it up. I liked watching you. I think you were a solid backup. I thought you could have had your moments, but it never worked out. Like your universe has been telling you for so long, bud, no more quarterbacking, no more. Stop playing. We're not going to let you because you get hurt every moment. I'm sorry. Just
I would like to see Tyrod get into coaching.
Yeah.
You know, I think he would be a great coach. But
other than that, 3 interceptions. The Jets obviously are awful.
Yeah.
They're awful.
They're bad. Bad team. But like I said, it's not that the players are garbage. It's stemming from the office. It is. It just is. and I think they all know it. They know the season's over with. I would like to see them kind of come out in the last 4 games with some effort, but the front office is like, we want to have some high draft picks. We got a lot of number ones coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
We kind of want to be trash. And when your organization tells its players, we want you guys to be trash.
Yeah.
And we want to lose them because we want higher end draft picks and we want as many good first rounders as we can get.
Yeah.
It's like, you just suck. You just suck. And it's not a knock on the players at all.
No, the players are honestly way better than the Jets organization.
Yes.
Way
yes,
better.
and I think you need to let the players run the fucking team. Turn them into the mean machine, man. Just let the inmates run the damn asylum.
Yeah.
You know what? And I think they would probably win more games, and they wouldn't be on hind tit every single year.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Let's move on.
Please. I don't want to waste oxygen talking about the Jets.
Yeah, no. The next game we got, dude, the Saints and the Buccaneers. You called it weeks ago, dude. The Saints just have their number. I don't know what it is, but I put here for my burning question, what is wrong with the Buccaneers? Something has fallen way off.
Yeah, I wish I knew, man.
The injury, they're getting healthier now. They're actually getting a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
Is it just rhythm from the injuries and now bringing them back? Like, what is it that makes them look so out of sync? Like,
I don't know. Maybe people are just getting tape on them now, and
maybe,
and you would think Bucky Irving getting healthy would be a boost, but it hasn't.
Yeah,
you would think
because Sean Tucker was doing so good that it ironically
you killed that rhythm,
slowed them down. Yeah, the rhythm they had.
Yeah, because that game that they had against Buffalo, I mean, yeah, they lost, but they looked so good. And when you were able to hit them with a Rachaad White, Sean Tucker, kind of having that back and forth, because Tucker was kind of unknown at that point.
Yeah,
but you have all that shit going on. Now it's like, okay, Bucky Irving's back. They're going to try to force him the ball. But it's just like, yeah, now they seem to be predictable.
They probably should have left Sean Tucker at 60% snap, and they probably should have took Rachaad White's snaps and gave him to Bucky and seen what you had there and treated more Bucky of a change of pace, third down guy, and let Sean keep running it, because to be totally honest, he's been the one bright spot during this stint of everyone being injured, because Ibuka has even slowed down and Baker has slowed down. It really has been Sean Tucker that has kept the boat afloat, literally, for the Bucs. Now they're tied with Carolina, and they lost. Didn't they lose to Carolina once recently? Or have they played yet? I'm trying to remember. Maybe they have 2 games left to play against.
I think they did play. I think Tampa beat them earlier this year.
Did they?
I think.
I'll try to find it. But, dude, Shuck, I like Shuck, man, for the Saints.
He looked better.
He's a bit of a gamer. He's totally different vibe. Rattler, I said Rattler wasn't the guy, but Shuck has been. He's just they haven't played yet. They got 2 games.
Oh, okay.
December 21st, so 2 weeks from now, and then they finish the season. So 2 of the last 3 games of the year they play each other. So wow, I mean that division's going to stay up for grabs until the last second. That might even get flexed into your.
And Mike, I was going to say, it's probably going to get flexed, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I would say it's either going to be that, or it's going to be. I think Pittsburgh, Baltimore play each other in Week 18 as well. So that's going to be one of those 2 games, I think. And who would have thought? Panthers. Oh.
The Panthers.
Yeah.
No Kamara yesterday either, and Neal stepped in pretty well. He did solid. He was okay.
Yeah. Well, they've done good without Kamara all year. He's basically not been there.
Yeah. And
he should have took the trade. What a dick.
It was a bit mucky and gross. You could see the field deteriorating throughout the game. The middle of the field was starting to just get chopped up. And Baker, it just seemed like every time that he was stepping up to do a throw, he didn't have enough space to get the throw off the way he wanted. It kept going off Godwin's hands on fourth down. It went off Gade Otten's hands, but he got under it enough and was short of the first down late at the very end. And it's like, man, they're just off by like a little bit. And these guys were juggernauts. And even in the commentary, they were like, the Baker magic has fizzled out from the weeks to start the season to now. You see the same Baker, but the same things aren't happening. The dramatic finishes, like they're just, it's like kind of what people talked about their start the year, and it was like, oh yeah, well they're winning a lot of close games, but that comes back on you, and they weren't as good as we thought, maybe because they were just kind of barely winning those games, and they broke for them. And now we're seeing the other ladder of, well, now they're not breaking, and they're really not outplaying the other team that much, and that they're losing. And I'm just kind of shocked from it all because I really thought they were one of the best teams in the league at one point.
Yeah, and they were. You're right to think that. I mean, they were really a top 5 team in the first half of the year. I mean, for real. I mean, it was just something happened. And is Baker playing hurt? I think at this point of the year, any fan knows that everybody is hurt right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the rest of the year. But yeah, man, this game was surprising, and it's like good on New Orleans for keep fighting. They're not
one of
quitting.
The more competitive bottom dwellers.
They're very, very competitive team.
We've been saying it for weeks how they got a lot of fight in them, and they really don't.
They do have a fight.
You can tell they're not intending on tanking. That's not like their thought process. They're just playing their asses off, and they lose by a touchdown here or there, and it just doesn't go their way. And they're trying. They really are trying to win these games. You can tell.
Yeah. And I'll give them kudos, man. Kellen Moore's got them, I think, in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have the right guys now. Vele's coming along. Jawan Johnson, he's been, and Olave's been the guy there all year.
Mm-hmm.
So, they lose Shaheed, but it looks like they still haven't missed a step. Vele slid into that spot quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think they'll have a lot to build on. I think they're still maybe a year or two away. But you like what you see out of Shock. He's not making bad decisions. He had a pick, but he's not doing anything to lose the game. I think they're on the right track. I think they need a couple pieces, and I think the main piece that they need is just to get rid of Kamara. He's just not there anymore. I don't think his head or his heart's in the game anymore. You just don't see it out of him. I mean, they give him opportunities, but he looks like he's lost a step for sure.
He had himself a game a couple weeks ago before his injury, and I thought, whoa, he got like 22 carries for like 105. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then he's injured, and I'm like, oh, you ran into the ground.
He's like, oh yeah, I had 26 touches. I'm hurt now.
Yeah,
I did enough.
Tendonitis and every part of my body.
Yeah, just give Devin Neal the rock. He does more with it anyway.
Yeah. The next game was, honestly, it was a delight. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was very fun. It's snow game.
Yeah.
God, it was so fun.
Bills, and because Burrow was back, it was as good as we would have thought it would have been since week 1. Like, it was a good game. It was very fun to watch. I put my burning question, are the Bengals done now? They're 4-9
this season. Yes.
The division is 3 games out now with the Steelers, so they're done.
Yeah, you're not winning a division, losing 9 games. You're just not. The Steelers and the Ravens, they're not going to lose 9 games. They're just not. I don't. Could they play spoiler? Hell yeah. Because I think they play Baltimore this week, so yeah, they could absolutely ruin Baltimore's season. So they beat them twice. you beat them in Baltimore, beat them at home now, and then you basically ruin their season. So, but then Pittsburgh's got to win. So,
True.
I mean, but yeah, Cincinnati can definitely play spoiler, and that they would love to do that. But I think it's too little, too late.
Yeah. I honestly thought the Bengals were going to win the way they come out playing.
I did too.
Burrow had 4 touchdowns in the game. They ended up going 10 of 12 on third down. They outrushed the Bills 108 the Bills, I'm sorry, the Bills outrushed them 183 to 62. So that wasn't obviously going in their favor, but Burrow was lighting it up, T. Higgins was lighting it up. And then suddenly the Benford pick just out of nowhere. Felt like
that was one of those Madden-esque.
Yes, it felt like Ja'Marr Chase could have caught him, but he kind of just slowed up. Maybe he couldn't have, but I wonder if they could have stopped the Bills.
It's one of those. I think he lost his legs. It just looked because he was catching up to him. I'm like, he's going to catch him, and it's like you could see he was still running, but he was losing ground. It's like, his legs were just done. He was gassed on that route. So,
and then the very next drive, they bat the ball, and Espinoza picks it off, and I'm like, man, all game
there it is.
The Bengals were scoring every drive, scoring. And then suddenly the Bills pull a couple out of their ass, and I was like, damn, they just flipped this game upside down. Like, tough for Burrow. I was looking at the play. Ja'Marr Chase is running, and he stops on like kind of a, like not a drag, what's the other? A hitch, like a hitch route, about maybe or a button hook, whichever one is about 10 yards out. But in between that is this very big man being blocked, who then puts his big old mitt up before the ball's really thrown. Before the ball's come out, he's got his mitt up here before he's really bringing it back to throw. And I'm like, damn, Burrow, like you really just thought you were going to sling it past this big ass motherfucker? Like, you didn't sidearm, you didn't, and he had room. He could have stepped left or pump faked and stepped, and he could have led Chase to the sideline maybe. He just tried to like zip it past them. I'm like,
yeah.
He's
done it so many times before.
Yeah, I feel like it was a little overconfident.
Yeah, maybe
a decision, maybe. And especially in that spot because you had just had a pick six, and he just kind of tries to zip it past that guy, and I'm like, you just lost the game.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got that short memory though.
Yeah, I guess. Should Burrow have been brought back? I feel like yes, because there were 2 games out, 6 or 7 left. There were 2 games out. But now, should they shut him down or just go ahead and play?
Keep playing him. Just keep playing him because you want to try to spoil whatever you can. Okay. You want to take.
Worried for a new injury.
Of course, you're always going to be worried about that. But
the Bengals are.
At the same time, it's like, but Joe Burrow, he's going to be like, I can play. I'm going to play. I don't care.
He makes enough money. He's like, look, it's my job. It's my job to play.
Yeah, and I think he knows he's going to have a new coach next year. So
yeah, probably.
So you want to kind of do as much as you can, win as much as you can, but unless somebody comes in and says, we're shutting you down, and be like, all right, you can shut me down, but I'm not going to be here next year. Trade me. The one thing I did not like, we watched this game because everything that happened with the Colts, I was kind of flipping back and forth. But I think if they're going to shut anybody down, it might have to be T. Higgins. I mean, that's 3 games in a row. I mean, it's scary. It is really scary to see him do that, and it's like you have to protect him. Yeah,
he's doing so good, and you're just like, please, Guardian Cap, and just wait until you're healthy.
Make it fucking mandatory already. It has to be at some point. It has to be. You worry about what it's going to do to him. We're going through the same thing with Charvarius Ward on our squad. It's like at this point, given the way the things are going right now, I don't think he needs to be on the field. He doesn't need to be out there. Protect him. If you got to protect him from himself, just protect him. You know, I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're not doing anything. They don't have a playoff push, nothing like that. Let him just pull him out, set him out, let his brain rest and heal. So, you know, he had a great game yesterday too, and he hates seeing that shit. But at some point, you got to be like, man, that's 3 consecutive weeks or 3 consecutive games that you've been in where you've taken a headshot. Something's going on. The universe is trying to tell you something, bud. Just chill.
Yeah, I agree. And Josh Allen, obviously, he put on an amazing performance. He also had 4 touchdowns. One of them was a 40-yard dash for a touchdown in the snow. I couldn't believe he made it all the way there. I was like, wow, nobody was able to step up and stop him.
Yeah. So you didn't want to put a spy there, huh? That's definitely a choice.
39-34, and to come to think, James Cook fumbled on the 1-yard line.
So he's been a fumbling motherfucker lately,
hasn't he?
Yeah.
So you look at that game, as well as the Bengals played, their defense was about as bad as they've been all year, and the Buffalo could have had 40. So
yeah,
kudos to Buffalo for beating a high-scoring team like Cincinnati. I think that was a really good win for Buffalo in the snow.
Very good win.
Really do.
Yep. It's very rare you say a win against a 4-8 team is a good win, but it was good. It was good.
Kind of like putting the Bengals out of their misery to some degree, right?
Yep.
A conference foe normally. So next game we got Broncos Raiders. What a snoozer.
Yeah.
I put on here, are the Broncos the most feared team in the AFC?
No.
Okay. You got to follow that up with who is.
No, I don't. I don't have to explain myself.
Well, the reason I say this is because I think that there's a certain level of, like, I use the word fear because I feel like they've played with their food at times. This week they were up 24-7, so it wasn't very close. They just didn't score a lot because for whatever reason they were turning the ball over and not really being awesome in the second half. Yeah. But there's been a lot of people talking just them up all year. Everyone's talking them up. And so for me, I use the word fear. So if they're not the most feared team at 11-2 in the AFC, then who is your most feared team?
Right now, I would think it was probably in the AFC at least. It still has to be New England right now or Buffalo. But I mean, you look at what Denver did. Now, you could say Denver's defense may be one of the most feared defenses, and I would agree with that.
But their offense can be
their offense is efficient. Yeah, their offense is efficient, but Bo Nix yesterday did not have any touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He was 31-38, but only threw for 212. You have 31 completions.
RJ Harvey's been pretty good lately.
Harvey stepped up. Harvey has stepped up in JK's absence. But Denver always has a running game.
Yeah.
Their defense scored, or their special team scored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, Bo Nix, when you have 31 completions and you barely go over 200 yards, you're not driving the ball down the field. And if you can't drive the ball down the field against the Raiders, who are you going to drive down the field against? You know, if they have a stinker game like this against the Patriots or the Bills, they're going to lose. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
To me, anyway, if this is the best that they can do on offense against a bottom 3 team in the entire NFL, then I know it's a division game and they're division rivals, whatever. This doesn't do anything. Everybody has beaten the brakes off the Raiders. You know, they don't even know who the hell their quarterback is. They have no system at all.
They've just been putting Kenny Pickett in.
This is
why not?
Kind of, why not? But this is kind of what I wanted to get to earlier with the whole Vegas interference thing. It's like at the end of this game, it's 24-14.
Yeah.
You get a bogus foul called. which stops the clock, and the Raiders decide to kick a fucking field goal, which
And
makes the score 7. And all the money was on the Broncos, 6.5 or whatever it was.
I think it was 8.5.
8.5.
It was 8.5
So,
for the Broncos, and everyone took the over, saying they're going to whoop their ass.
And rightfully so. They should have, and that's why I'm telling you. The Broncos play with their shit too much. And yeah, they're 11-2. But I just don't think it's going to be sustainable. Like, I think they play Kansas City, I think, is it Christmas Day? I think Kansas City's going to win that game. And I just don't see Denver getting the 1 seed. They may win their wild card game, but I don't think they're going to make a deep run or anything like that. They have a good defense, but if you match them up against Houston again, I think Houston will beat them. You know, because that's kind of like that's a matchup that I want to see. I want to see Denver and Houston in the playoffs, and I want to see them just beat the piss out of each other. You know, but I don't see Denver being that team. I don't think they're going to come out of the AFC at all. You know, I mean, they may win a game, but they definitely don't scare me at all.
I do think that they are the most feared team this year. And I do think that they're going to end up with the number 1 seed. But no, I don't think they'll end up making it through and going to like the Super Bowl. But I think they will carry the 1. I don't have the same faith in New England than you do with Denver. I do think the Chiefs are going to beat Denver necessarily. They could, but I don't necessarily think that they will. I look at Denver and I say they were screwing around in the beginning of the year. They lose by a field goal to the Chargers. They lose by a field goal to the Colts. But then they haven't lost in a long time. And they haven't looked amazing sometimes. But then they've also beat Philly. And they've also beat Kansas City. And they beat some good teams here or there. And so
they beat the Jets by 2.
I know. And I don't think they're all that good. Like, I don't think they're going to win. But I do think that the way the landscape is, I don't think anyone else will get the 1. I don't think New England will get the 1. They got to play Buffalo again. I think the Buffalo will beat them. But Buffalo's not going to get the 1. When you look at the records and the way they stand and all that, Denver's going to fall into the 1, and they probably won't lose a lot more games before the season's over. They probably finish at least 2-2. That'll be enough for them to get the 1. In my mind, I'm 13-4. They're going to get the 1. So I do think they get the 1. I do think they look like the feared team. I don't necessarily fear them the most in my perspective. I do think Buffalo is the 1 because of how much you can trust the offense in Josh Allen. He's the MVP. And you know that down the line, he's going to be the guy that would win a game. And do you think Bo Nix will do it for sure? For sure. I would put my money on Josh Allen in that big moment. Buffalo would beat Denver in my mind. And it doesn't mean it'll happen, but that's how I look at it.
Yeah, you may be right on that, but I just don't think that anybody, you can't look at Denver's, work through this season and just be like, yeah, they're probably the most scary team that they have in the AFC. No. I would say right now the hottest team would be at least a team that is in the playoffs at this point right now. Probably the team that you don't want to play is Houston.
I agree with
that. You
that.
don't want to play Houston. You don't want to play New England. You don't want to play Buffalo even. But I think the hottest team right now that's in the playoffs on the AFC side is Houston.
Yes.
And you don't want to see them.
They took our spot, that's for sure.
Well, we kind of gave it to them. He's like, you know what? Yeah, we're good. We were 8-4. We don't really want to go to the playoffs anyway. We kind of want Phillip Rivers back.
What was interesting is Denver, they had the ball twice as long in this game, 40-20. And they did
what did they do?
And, a defensive player of the year runner-up could be Nick Bonitto.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Myles Garrett will get it when it's all said and done. He's going to break the record. But I think Nick Bonitto might get the runner-up. I know that we both picked different defensive player of the years. But I think that for what he means to Denver and how they've done it, I think Benito would probably get the votes for second.
Yeah.
So look, I don't like them, but they are playing complimentary football.
Yeah, and that's one good thing you can say about them is they complement each other well. The defense, Mims is such an underrated dude.
Yeah, punt return for
so
a touchdown.
Underrated.
I mean,
yeah, he's a do it all guy. You know,
like a Tyler Lockett,
but
T.Y. Hilton. He's a small guy that just takes something.
He's an X factor for sure. But I just that Denver offense does not scare me. I mean, if you can limit the run game, you can win. You can beat them. Because Bo Nix may go 23 of 28 or 20 for 30, but he's only going to throw for 175, maybe 200 yards, maybe a touchdown, probably a pick. But that you have to worry about their defense. You have to try to out scheme their defense if you're going to beat them. You don't have to worry about their offense. Their offense is not going to jump off the field at you. Granted, they've done really well when they need to. They are a clutch team.
Yeah.
But as a whole, it's like if you can just stop them and keep them in check, you can definitely beat them.
What will Bo Nix?
So they don't really, yeah. And granted, he's pulled them out of some tight spots.
Yeah, he's good.
You can't that's not a winning formula that's going to last forever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The next game we have the Bears and the Packers, which was an awesome game. I thought I enjoyed it.
Very, very good. Yeah.
So I just put on here, burning question was, who will win the NFC North? Who do you have right now?
Yeah. Right now, I think Green Bay is probably the team to beat. Because they have that tie, and it's going to come into play. But they did pretty good against Chicago yesterday. Granted, they had a chance to win at the end. Caleb Williams throws a pretty bad interception there at the end, but he again, he was 19 of 35. It's nothing that's going to jump out on you. So they did pretty well. I mean, Chicago, he's been better this year than he was last year, but the passing game is still something that needs worked on.
But he's been good for like 12 to 15 incompletions. What they're doing is they're running the ball so well that his timely completions is like they're gaming with each other. Their flow and rhythm is still there, even though he's actually had like 10 or 12, 15 incompletions. But yesterday I thought he needs to throw the ball to DJ Moore more. Literally. Yeah. You throw Cole Kmet in the back of the end zone, and who's a 5 yards shorter? DJ Moore. There's no one on DJ Moore. There's no one on him.
Yeah.
I just think he could find a way to get him the fucking ball.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah. But just if you're not Colston Loveland, or it just seems like Zacchaeus, you're not getting touchdowns. At least passing touchdowns at least. But man, with that Swift and Monangai combination, I mean, it is elite. I mean, that is a great running game that they have. They have a great tandem, and it's coming on. And you want your run game to come on in November, December, January. You want that to kind of start getting some momentum. But Caleb needs to work off of that a little bit better. And then they can be dangerous. I'm not saying that they can't, but it seemed like when he was in clutch time yesterday, he was short, he was high, he was long. So you gotta kind of be a little bit iffy about that, a little bit weird. Maybe he can kind of bring that in a little bit and do a little bit better these last few weeks, but But if I'm Chicago, man, I am riding that run game as much as I can. I don't want to put the game in Caleb's hands if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So you kind of want that to be what gets you the games.
I agree. I mean, right now, Ben Johnson, he's kind of starting to put his name into a hat of guys where, like, he had the Lions running tandem, and now he's got this Bears tandem. He's starting to put his name in the hat of, like, Mike Shanahan, Greg Roman, Kyle Shanahan. Like, these are guys that they know how to run the ball. They will absolutely find a way
Gary
to
Kubiak.
Yeah, they'll find a way to zone block, zone read. They will find a way to open gaps, and they'll find a way to run this ball. They have to. They know it. It's in their DNA. Ben Johnson is, for him to turn the Bears into that kind of running team and to resemble the Detroit Lions so well, I'm like, maybe he should get Coach of the Year as a rookie. I mean,
I
where the
probably
Bears
wouldn't be
are at.
opposed to it.
I mean, he
I wouldn't
should
be
get.
opposed to it if
Maybe you're going to pick someone else. You know, you got Sean Payton, you got McVay, you got some guys. There's some good coaches, but just he's
yeah.
definitely rookie of coach of the year if that's even a thing. But golly, I mean, no one had the Bears even here. They were in the lead of the division before the game yesterday. They were the number one
Yeah.
seed in the NFC before yesterday. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is. That's
And
crazy,
they beat
but
the Eagles, the champion from last year,
yeah,
like
in their house.
in their house on Black Friday. Like, give me a break. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So bad that they egged the Eagles offensive coordinator's house.
Philadelphia is the worst fan base. You know, Dallas, real quick, Dallas Cowboys fans, you guys get a bad rap when it comes to, like, you guys have this rivalry with Philadelphia. Listen, I'm here to tell you, the Philadelphia fans, they are so much worse than the Dallas Cowboy fans. Philadelphia will literally shit on you if you so much as fail on anything. You don't
Yeah.
get their mail to them on time, they're shitting on you. You don't
They threw
get
beer
them their
bottles at
beer.
Santa Claus, for Christ's sake.
You don't get them a beer within 30 minutes of being at the bar, they're going to shit on you. Like, that's just how they are. Dallas is just overconfident. It's annoying. We see it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you're always thinking you're going to do something. You're always going to win. We get it. It's the mantra for 30 years. But I'm serious. The Philadelphia fan base, they are a horrible fan base.
Yeah.
You could call it passionate, and some people say, oh, it's one of the best because of how they are. And I'm like, look, if you're going to shit on your own team that quickly, that often, and castrate all your players and tell them all to leave, like, you're just a bunch of bitchy crybabies. You're not a fan base. Like, you guys are the worst fan base I know in sports, period.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
They're Super Bowl champions.
Coming off a championship, even.
There's no one else that's the champion. It's the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will shit on their team.
Yeah, that's it's just garbage.
It's trash.
But I gave them a little bit of credit. When Scattaboo got hurt, I think it was when Scattaboo got hurt, and they were cheering
they were
him.
Very generous.
They sent food to his hospital room and everything, and it's like
security guard at Philly.
Big Dome.
There's going to be good people in Philly. I'm not going to say the whole fan base. I just think maybe the common fan is trash.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand why.
There's probably organizational community fans that are good, but they're common fan, the ones that go to a couple games a year. I think that they're probably trash.
Yeah,
the ones
like
that
Bradley
go to
Cooper.
every game and they have a Philly cheesesteak shop and they maybe have a car wash or whatever. They're probably not too bad, but the rest of them are awful.
Yeah, it is terrible, and we got some bad eggs on our side of the thing too. But
oh man,
just people who are just ready to jump ship as soon as something goes wrong. And people who are like, well, now you got people that I've even gone back and forth with say, well, I told you Daniel Jones was going to be worthless. All I said at the beginning of the year. It's like, yeah, you can't say that you're right about that because the way he was playing is not the reason that he fell off. He got hurt. Well, I'm not saying I'm right about it. Shut the fuck up. Dumb asses. It's like, come on. You know what you're doing. You're just hating to hate. Yeah. You want to try to be right. Like, I know sports so much that I'm just going to sit here and say, well, I knew it was going to happen. No, the fuck you didn't. Nobody knows shit until it happens.
Yeah.
So just fuck off. Just so
Look,
dumb.
hey, haters gonna hate, ain'ters gonna ain't.
They hate us because they ain't us.
There you go. Christian Watson was outstanding. I felt like he was really the guy breaking it open for the Green Bay.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, after I think he had a pick in the game, but he had 3
Uh-huh.
touchdowns. Josh Jacobs with the game-winning touchdown. I honestly kind of thought, I was like, that kind of felt like a take it away from him kind of touchdown. It felt like emotional, like kind of within the game. I really didn't think Chicago would get down the field and get as close as they did, but I just kind of thought it felt more demoralizing the way they just kind of punched it in there. And I'm like, you know, Jaden Reed's back now, and it's like we have to talk about the fact that, hey, look at this, Green Bay's just about healthy.
Yeah, they're getting healthy at the right time. You know,
what we said weeks ago before we had all our medical ailments, Lambeau is cold in January. Just
very cold.
Everybody,
yeah, don't let them get the 1 seed.
It's so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on to the Rams and Cardinals game. I put on here, are the Rams the top team in the NFC?
Yes, I think they are the number 1 best team.
Right.
In the entire NFC.
Pound, they have the hardest flaw to find. Is that fair?
Yeah, very much.
Flaw, wherever it is, it's the hardest one to find. You really got to look to find a flaw.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they don't have one. I mean, yeah. The Stafford, another 3 touchdown, no interception game.
He had 5.
Swear to Christ, he's a goddamn clone.
He's a cyborg.
He's not human.
Right?
He's not human this year. You know, Blake Corum, where the fuck did he come from?
Him and Kyron Williams are turning into a crazy dude.
They're getting there. It's getting there. I mean, we just talked about Swift and Monunga. I mean, these guys are right up there with them.
Yeah.
You know, and Corum doing what he did yesterday. You got Puka, Devontae, Parkinson even. Man, what can you do? It's like it just looks like these guys are destined to bring home another title. It's like this looks like a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, it really does.
And doesn't look like anybody can stop them.
49 rushing yards and 530 total. And if you listen to the call in the game, you could actually hear MVP. Like Stafford is playing unbelievable. I think he might be in the lead by himself now. I would have to look at it.
Yeah.
We haven't looked at it for a while because we wanted to table it. But I would just not really looking. I would probably maybe pick Stafford.
If I had a vote, it would be going to Matthew Stafford. Yeah. I mean, so man, he just broke a record. What was it? 26 touchdown passes without a pick. And it's like, and that just got broke last week.
Yeah.
And then he starts off another streak. 3 touches with no pick.
The way they're playing right now, I would actually argue offensively that they're playing better than they did when they won the title.
100%. Cool, because that team was defense dependent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they played complementary football. Like, oh, hey, the defense is really good. The offense can strike at any moment. It feels like the offense is just a juggernaut. They do not let up, and it's scary.
Yeah. Then it was Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Right.
They didn't really have anybody outside of that.
15 catches every game. Like, just kept getting the ball to him.
Yeah, but then the defense, the Rams, they would, if they could score 20 points, they were going to win the game because that defense wasn't going to let anybody score. But now the defense isn't letting anybody score still, but it's just the offense is getting so far ahead so early that the defense can rush 5 or 6 every play.
Yeah.
And really put the pressure on you. And it's like, that's the formula, man. And if you can make that happen,
They have one of the top
Yeah.
dudes, like
Yeah.
top 5 sack guys. So
Yeah. They have so many great players on defense.
yep.
I mean, so many. They keep finding all these gems. Whoever they have in their scouting department, I mean, they should be given wonderful Christmas bonuses
They should probably get
because
an
they are.
assistant GM or a GM type spot in the future because they're doing that
Yes,
well.
yes. That is those are those the scouters there, top notch. I mean, they are the best in the league, bar none. And then McVay, he is an excellent coach, but he doesn't have to do anything. All he's got to do is just be like, okay, this is the scheme that we want to run. These are the plays that I want to run. He'll call a play, and then he knows that if he calls the wrong play, Stafford's going to get him out of it. He's going to get them into the right play. So it's like you really don't have to do much because you got Stafford's basically a head coach on the field.
I remember that clip. I think it might have been last year where Matt Stafford's on here and he's like, "Okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah." Oh
he's
my
still
God,
going.
still talking. He's still going.
Still
Yeah,
going.
still going.
Yeah, still going. Like, yeah,
And
it's
I'm
like
like,
you have him out there.
for him to act that way, it probably must be a very good relationship.
The best.
But it's like it's good that like you can annoy each other within a game to the point of like just being, oh my God, he won't shut up right now, and then you
Yeah.
still go out there and execute at a high level. Like
Yeah.
you can't hate like who doesn't like Matt Stafford?
If you don't, you're a bastard.
You watched him just try so hard in Detroit and get his ass kicked,
Yeah.
and he had Megatron, and you rooted for him then, I would imagine. He's got a
Oh, I did.
broken, dislocated shoulder, collarbone. He runs out there to just go anyway. If you don't like Matt Stafford, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. It's to me, it's the same as
What's wrong with
if
you?
if you don't like Baker Mayfield, there's a you problem. If you don't
Well,
like
Baker
Matt
does,
Stafford, you got a you problem.
but Baker does commercials, and that can drive people like a certain way. But like Stafford, he does one with his wife that apparently people will be like, "Oh, she was real promiscuous." And it's like, who cares? They're in
Yeah.
college.
Stafford's a cock.
The hell does that matter? They're married. They got a family. All the girls
Yeah.
he's got jumping around, screaming, "Go, Dad!" It's like, who fucking cares about college 15 years ago? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Nobody.
they're killing it as a family, and yeah, like he's not. You don't want to hear Stafford talk football. He's like in that world for me, like Drew Brees, even
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Stafford's becoming into that kind of frame. I want to hear him talk football. I like his
Yeah.
mind. So
Yeah. If he can get a second title this year, you're
that,
definitely putting him up there on the Mount Rushmore, I think. At least
yeah, he
of
starts.
recent current guys.
Yeah, you
He's
won't
not
forget
he's
Matt
not
Stafford.
you will never forget him. Yeah, no, but he's not GOAT status, but he's I would say definitely top 10 of all time without a doubt. I mean,
But
even
he's
maybe right now.
but like
But
2 ring guys, he moves ahead of Eli. He moves ahead of
yeah, he'll
some
be
dudes.
there with Eli and
Probably
Peyton.
ahead of Big Ben. Probably
I have him ahead of Big Ben right now, yeah.
right. Maybe you would put him ahead of Peyton. I don't know if you can. Just the name is so synonymous. But
I
like,
wouldn't put him
yeah,
ahead of Peyton.
you start to
Yeah.
conversate that.
Yeah. But he would have to be in the same discussion for
Yes.
sure as Peyton. As far as accolades go, yeah, he didn't get to 4 Super Bowls, but he did. If he gets a title this year, he'll be undefeated in Super Bowls.
2 for 2.
And then Eli's 2-0 in Super Bowls. So, hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. All right. Well, then the who was that? Wilson. Shout out to Wilson of the Cardinals, the only bright spot. He had 142 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So that's it for
Yep.
Arizona.
That's it. We'll move on from there.
The Sunday night football game.
We'll just glaze the Rams for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Was a shocker. I put on here, did the Texans just eliminate the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yep. I believe so.
I think they did.
I think they did too. Man, it's going to be hard for them to finish second in the division.
Well,
I
you
I
look at
don't
it
even
right
know if they'll
now.
even get there.
Well, you look at it right now. The Texans hold the final spot in the AFC. The teams that have worse records are going to get in because someone's got to win the North.
Yeah,
So the 8-5 spot is 2 games ahead of Kansas City. They have a head-to-head against Kansas City, so that screws them. It can't be the Texans they pass. We're already out right now, and they have to obviously pass us. They're 2 games behind us, but they have the tiebreaker. When you look at the
yeah,
kind of mountain to climb with only 4 games left on the schedule, it seems very unlikely. Like, I know it's an uncomfortable thing to say, but I would probably say around 10% chance that they can make playoffs.
yeah. If that, but I don't disagree.
Because who's going to collapse? We're already out. Houston or Jacksonville, one of them's going to collapse. Jacksonville's up 3 on the Chiefs, and they already beat
yeah,
them. Houston is
yeah,
up 2. They beat them. So it's
yeah,
not just that the distance they have; it's they have the tiebreaker on the head to head. So who else is going to miss? Buffalo. Buffalo beat them. You know what I'm saying? They lost to everybody they couldn't lose to. They done
yeah,
fucked their whole season. Like, you couldn't lose to those teams. You could lose to us because
yeah,
we're gonna fall out. But what about the other teams? They can't pass those teams. The way I look at it, I think it's over.
yeah. You have to hope for a collapse somewhere.
Complete
Yeah. I just
collapse, like a
don't think that.
losing out.
Yeah, and I just don't. Given the way that they looked last night, yeah, I know Houston's got the best defense in the NFL, but they just they looked like they were just in awe of like, why can't we do anything?
Yeah.
And the fact, Mahomes goes out and throws 3 interceptions, no touchdowns,
Listen, that was his
and it's
worst
like
game I think I've ever seen him play.
worst game I've ever seen him play, and that says a lot,
Yes.
And granted, give Houston credit on their defense, confused the shit out of them,
Yes.
and they made them look bad. And I think it started when Petrie just decleated Rashee Rice,
What an
and it's like,
unbelievable hit.
wow, it's
I
like,
haven't seen a guy get hit so bad to go airborne and his legs just be up in the straddle position, falling
yeah,
on the back of his neck
yeah,
and back. I was like, wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's like, dude, you got knocked the hell out by a dude wearing a Guardian cap.
Yeah.
All you see is like this big melon head come flying,
Like,
and
call
he
me
laid him
Petri
out. But
dish. Let's
what I
go.
saw after that, what I saw after that has been kind of what the Chiefs' MO has been. When you see him hit Rashee Rice legally,
Yeah.
perfectly,
Yeah.
textbook hit to separate him from the ball, and then you get Creed Humphreys kind of running up on Petrie, like, what are you doing? That was a clean, legal hit. There was nothing malicious about it.
Yeah.
And what they want to do, it just seems like if it's not Mahomes, it's one of the receivers, it's one of the linemen saying, "Where's our call? Where's our flag? That was bad.
They've gotten
Where's our
really
help?"
used to it, right? They've gotten
They've
really
gotten
used
so
to
used
it.
to it.
The
Yeah.
refs have, it's like a bad parent that's constantly, bailing them out, or, they're not learning from mistakes or things. And for
Yeah.
Kansas City, they're a really good football team for many years, but they weren't learning within their mistakes because the refs were bailing them
There
out.
to bail them out.
And
Yeah.
what happened in the Super Bowl? The Chiefs got destroyed because the refs were like, okay, we're not going to bail them out in the Super Bowl. We can't do that. We got them
Yeah.
here, but they're going to have to do it. They got
Yeah.
throttled.
And when you go down 27-0, we can't really bail you guys out from 20.
And I want to
But
believe that the refs saw that and was like, ooh, when the NFL saw that and they were like, well, we really love Kansas City, but we can't put them there if they're going to be that inferior. I
yeah,
hope that they looked at that and was like, wow. And this season, they have gotten less calls than they did the year before because they got calls every game last year. I mean, every game. They screwed
yeah,
Denver. They screwed, there's so many. The Raiders, they should have lost so many games last year. They won so many with like
yeah,
one score, last second, something. PI here. They beat the Bengals I mean, every time you looked at it. But this year, the Chiefs, They can't figure it out the same. And I mean, when you see Andy Reid go for it on 4th down, just because they've scored 10 straight and they're on their own like 35. Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know you got 10 straight, but you understand your defense is doing really good. Why are you going for
Yeah.
it? You gave them a short field, surefire touchdown for
Boom.
Texas. You just
Yep.
gave them momentum that quickly. Like, I know you have momentum, but when you've got it to 10 in the middle of the third, you punt the football. Your defense
Yeah.
is great. They could get a turnover for you, and you get the short field. Like, these
Yeah.
fourth quarters have cost a lot of teams in the NFL. I hope some teams go back and look at the stats, and they just look and say, wow, how many teams lost because of a 4th down call that maybe wouldn't have been called 5 years ago? Just look at
Yeah.
it. And games have been lost on those kind of calls.
Absolutely.
We're
It's like
being too quick.
you can't do that. I mean, that was the second quarter, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
It was the
man,
middle
flip
of
the
the third.
field,
It was the
play
middle of the
field position.
I believe, approaching the
The
4th quarter,
third.
and they had tied it up at 10-10. They took the momentum in the third, and they were in the game. And they really, really wanted to go take the leads to the point where they were like, we're going to go for it. And then they gave
Yeah.
the Texans points because of that. I think Texans opened the
Yeah.
4th scoring a touchdown because they did that.
It's
Like,
just,
what are we doing?
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't get it. You know, and especially with coach with the pedigree of Andy Reid to do something like that. I mean, it reeks of desperation, and you have
Yes.
no need to be desperate in that part. You could punt it, get them inside the 20, hopefully get a 3 and out, or maybe a 5 or 6 and out,
Yeah.
and then you flip the field back to you.
Yeah.
And so many coaches, I think, anymore just they forget about how important field position can be at times.
Yeah.
Especially when it's cold. You know, guys are just it hurts to go, be banging on every single play. It hurts. So, I mean, I think right now you want to play field position because when you get to the playoffs, it is a field position game.
Yes.
You're not going for it on 4th and 2 on your own 45 or their 45. You're playing field position. You're going to pin them deep. You're going to force them into a mistake.
Yes.
So why in the Sam hell would you do that in the regular ass season when your season's on the line? This was a playoff game for them.
Yes.
You just showed that you're not ready. This is not their year. They don't have the temperament or the ability to be in a playoff situation right now. And I think that they should just miss altogether. I think the playoffs would be better without them. I don't need to see them in the playoffs. The teams that are in right now are the top 7 teams, I believe, in the AFC. So Kansas City doesn't need to be anywhere near it. And I hope to God the NFL keeps it that way and they don't park their fucking fingers in it and just like, well, we need this to happen. We need this and this and this to happen. We need Kansas City to get in week 18. We need them to slide in there. Like, no, we don't.
It kind of feels like minus Taylor Swift, they're not that good either.
Yeah. Her and Kelsey might break up in the offseason.
Well, they're getting married in June, supposedly, in Rhode Island, and it's
they
it was all announced.
Might get married.
We'll see. But yeah, I thought with the Petrie hit, the only thing you could have called was unnecessary roughness or like blindside hitting, or what was it? What's the call it?
Defenseless receiver.
Defenseless receiver. It's such a judgment call. When I watch those in real time, I'm like, okay, for me, I'm really not looking for that. I'm just looking for where the helmet and shoulder hit.
Yeah, he leaned with his shoulder.
Because in all honesty, that is a textbook defenseless receiver. If it's right in the middle of the field, 15 yards, and the angle is just Petrie's not so much behind him, but just a little more side and behind. Like it's barely any different. But because he was behind him, it was almost like he's defending the line to gain. And so I think that's why they called it with nothing. Because you're defending the line to gain. You could fly in and hit him as hard as you want. It's the ones where it's like across the middle where you're going side to side that I think they called the defenseless receiver. So I was happy they
Yeah.
didn't call that, but I literally wouldn't have been surprised if they had, because it's just the
Yeah.
MO of these guys. When they see a hard hit, they go, oh, he wasn't ready. Like, okay.
Well, if he was in front of him, if
Yeah.
he were to hit him in the
He's
chest, I think they
running and
would
he
have called
comes
it.
in and just boom.
But he comes in kind of from the side
Yeah.
and lays him out because
Rasheed
they'll
turns
tell
a little
you,
bit and he gets laid out.
yeah, they'll tell you that the defender has every right to go for the ball as well. They both have rights to the ball. Now, if he's in front of him and he's not going for the ball and he shoulders him into the chest, they'll probably call it a defenseless receiver.
Pat McAfee should
I
have,
think the way he played it was perfect.
Pat McAfee should have Petrie on the show and be like, hey, you gave him a little Trenton Holiday on that one, didn't you? You gave him a little
Give
more
him a little bit. Give him a little extra with that guarding cap on. Come out there with the big head, mushroom cap.
Yeah,
that was nice.
It was definitely nice. It hurts us a lot, to be totally honest. But the Chiefs had beat us, so it hurts us if Chiefs win too. So
either way, we're screwed. I think we're cooked anyway. 8 wins. At one point we were 8-2. I think we just hang our head up on that. I still think it was a successful season. So not too mad about it. We'll see what happens the rest of this week with the Phillip Rivers stuff, and we'll see what Riley Leonard can do. Maybe
will it be a losing?
We may be the new clown town.
Maybe. Well, it would be a losing, but do you think it would still be a successful season if we finish 8-9?
If you would have asked me in August if we would finish 8-9, I would probably be like, yeah, it's the third year in a row we're right around 500.
Yeah, but lose 7 in a row, that stings a little, doesn't it? Right?
I think it would be.
Feel like you can't be happy about it.
There's still good things to look at. We still have good things this year. I think Daniel Jones is still the right guy. I really hope that they extend him because I think he belongs here. I think he does belong here.
Now that he's
but that being said,
he really does belong here.
He does. I want to see. Genuinely, dude, I want to see him end his career here. I really do. He's that kind of a dude where it's like he didn't let the success get to his head. He just got hurt. Things happen. I want him to be here, until he's ready to not be.
Mm-hmm.
I also I want Riley Leonard to get some time. I think he can be good. So we'll just have to wait and see how the end of the year plays out, and then we'll have to go in the off season. We're probably going to be picking around 17, 18 again. No, we don't have our pick. That's right. But I mean, we'll be right there in the mid every round. So we do our damage in the second, third, and fourth rounds. We'll see what we can do. I'm not going to get too down about things. We were competitive. We were in competition we were the number 1 seed 3 weeks ago.
We were the best team in football the first half of the year.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So I'm not going to be too mad about it, but I'm just hurt.
Yeah. Just like Daniel Jones, we're hurt.
Yeah. It's awesome. So good show.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We're back. And we're not as happy as we once was, but we'll be happier someday. We'll see.
Eventually.